One other thing you can do, which is probably makes more sense, is to write an if-else statement. And this is a little bit more complex, but for those of you that know a little JavaScript, etc., it should be straightforward. An if-else statement says, if this, do that, otherwise do this. You can write them simply like this. We're going to actually keep the click one. So I'm going to write if title visible equals false, end parenthesis, curly brace, curly brace. So what we're saying is function show title, if when someone clicks on the button, the title is not visible, and remember that there are several types of equal signs. The single equal sign makes something happen. It says this is now this. The double equal sign checks if something's true. So two double signs equals, is the title visible if the title's visibility is currently false, whereas this one says title make it visible, make it true. Now, so we have this if statement, the parameter in the parentheses. We have curly braces that say what to do if this parameter is met. What we need now is an else statement. So if that parameter is not met, some more curly mustaches, title visible equals false. So if the title is currently not visible, make it true, make it visible, otherwise make it invisible. Now what I want to do is I'm going to get rid of this garbage. And so now all we have are these clicker doodles, I like to call them. Alright, let's hit Control Enter and see what happens. Click, hidden, click back, click hidden, click back, click hidden. The rollover doesn't work anymore because I disabled it. And just like that, we have interactivity. So what I challenge you guys to do is to start programming, hit pause on this video and start programming to make the building names invisible. So the first thing you're going to have to do, alright, hit pause, and if you can't figure it out, hit play again. I'm back. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we have to remember what we called this button, and the building button is called building button, so that's pretty easy. Let's do this. And then we're going to add an event listener, mouse event. You will get faster at this, and we'll just call it off on buildings. Then down here you can have as many functions and event listeners as you want again, so we're going to call function off on buildings, event, mouse event, if. Now, what do we want to have visible or invisible? I forget what we called our building labels layer, so let's go here, and they're called building labels, that movie clip. So in this layer we have a bunch of text. Our instance name is called building labels. Alright, easy enough. So if building labels visible equals true, building labels visible equals false. Now, what's wrong with this? I screwed up already, and this is one of the most common mistakes. So if you get a bunch of errors, this is probably what it is. It's a typo or a case-sensitive issue, or this is saying if building labels make them true. That doesn't make sense. If building labels make them visible, true, make them visible, we have to say if they are, which requires two equal signs. Alright, else. Otherwise, make them visible. It's all there. Control return. Title still works. Buildings work. Awesome. The next tutorial, we'll make the thematic map thing disappear, and we'll start talking about simple animations. Be sure to save your work so you don't lose your code. So file, one thing I didn't mention is file save as, and let's call this Flash Doodle, or whatever you want to call it. But you can always open this again in Flash and copy the code, which is very nice.